Hey friends, a very good morning and very good evening to all of you. This webinar is about data mining techniques using Microsoft Excel. So the various points that we'll be covering in this session are data manipulation, data extraction, data cleaning, data formatting, data generation at some points, and data management. And to sum up all these, we are going to talk about data mining techniques. So I have already shared the agenda, the topics that we're going to discuss about in this lecture. So we'll be taking care of those examples. And for your queries and questions, you have my email ID. You can drop an email to me with your queries after this webinar, or you can also ping me on the same ID on GTalk so that we can schedule a call over Skype, or you can also call me directly on my number. I'll share it with you so we can discuss those in detail after this webinar. Okay, so to start with a very simple example, we can see here that we have some monthly records here, right? We have some data for you can say expenses that a person manages, and let's say he is spending something on housing, food, car, utilities, education, and he is taking care of and he is actually managing all these monthly in an Excel sheet, and he has the data for every month, and he is also taking care of the total he's spending in that year, and then graphically representing how much money he has invested in which area. So you can see that 22% of his entire you can say expenses he has spent on education, 25% on entertainment, and 22% on car. So the same goes here. This is line graph, and here we have a pie chart, right? So this is the data that or you can say this is the information that we have generated through raw data. Actually, the data was something like this. I'll show you. It was something like this. So this is raw data, and we need to extract meaningful information to represent that data in form of tables, and then further utilize those to generate graphs and charts. Okay, let's start with this. So I'll show you that chunk again. This is not for one data. You can see that we have housing information, we have food information, car, utilities, education, and entertainment. This is for one person only, right? Similarly, if we have this data for multiple people, right, we can have a different set altogether over here and a different graph altogether. So in this chunk we have data for multiple people. This information which is highlighted over here, this is for one person. For example, housing information, you can see in the first line up to here 900. This is for first record housing for this person, right? Similarly, this is the last one, education, and here the data ends for one person. Similarly, we have data for multiple people. If I copy it in a new sheet, you can easily see that we have 16 records here, and one record is this, starting from housing and uh, up to education. Okay, so we need to manipulate that data in that format. We need to clean the data in that format, and we need to extract meaningful information from that data. Now you must be noting down the points or the terms that I'm using. We are talking about manipulation. That means we are going to manipulate something, we are going to change something, and extract something which is meaningful. That is data extraction, and we actually need to clean some chunk from that data, and we need to format that so that it looks nice to user, and that is presentable. And we maybe need to generate some data which is not there. For example, if a value is 0, if I'm assuming that 0 is not there in the chunk data that I've shown you, and it is let's say represented by some other value, let's say ZERO in English, then I need to generate a value in place of that text. So that is data generation, and then we need to manage that data so that we can easily maintain that data, and we can further utilize it. and all of this is called data mining. Okay, so let's go on to the sheet where we have the junk data. Okay, the first step is over. We have copied this data over here. That means we have and you can see that we have multiple records automatically in different rows. Okay, so that means if we are going to work on one record, this formula that we're going to write on about first record, that should work for all the records. So even if we have thousands of records, one formula should be common, and that formula should be common for all, and it should extract the same or similar information for all the records. Okay, so the first step is to extract the housing information. Okay, so housing information, you can see it is starting with the text housing, which is hard coded, and up to a hash sign and then food. Okay, there may be a case where all these information, or you can say all these records, like housing is in the first sequence and then food is in the second, somewhere food is in the first and housing in the second. You need to write your formula accordingly. You need to take care all these things in your formulas. Okay, so but in this example we have analyzed one thing, that housing and all these categories are in same order, so we can take advantage of that. Okay, so if we need to extract this housing data up to this, what we can do is we can use, first of all we need to find the position of hash. Okay, so we can use find function. We are using we are going to find about this hash text in B3. So hash is present at 57th location in first and almost 57th in every value. But if I change a value, let's say I make it 3040, it will be 58. Okay, so we need to extract up to this character. That means I just cut this formula. That means I'm going to extract something from left of this entire string. This is entire string, and I want to extract how many number of characters that I just calculated. I copy it over here and I drag this formula to the end. So we have housing data for all the records. Okay, so we can also remove hash, and we can replace, oh, did I do something wrong? Okay, we can use -1. Okay, so we have housing data, and we can copy. First of all, you need to convert this to text. Okay, then copy and then paste special, paste as values, and then select this, go to data, text to columns, delimited with a comma. Okay, and then finish, fine, and then Control H. See, we have data for January, we have data for February, we have data till December for housing category. Similarly, we need data for other categories as well. So still in January we need to clean, we need to remove this portion. So I can select that region. I want to replace housing this dash with nothing. Okay, so I get the values. Now I have data for housing, and I have data for housing for all the records, and that I can keep somewhere over here like this, housing. So to make this, I need food, car, utilities, entertainment, and education. This is for one person. Similarly, I'll be getting data for all the records. So far we have generated it for housing only. Now again, this portion is okay. Cut and then paste it over here. Okay, something like this. This is for housing of all. Then we need food information. So I have deleted the formulas that I have written in this sheet, and I've copied the values which we have extracted over here. We can remove this blank space as well. So to extract the second category data, we know that it is starting from food and it is up to this car. What we can do is, or we can simply undo first of all. Okay, we have these values. Fine. So I'll go back and write the same formula again. Find hash in this text, and then I want to extract left from this and up to this, so that I can get housing data. Okay, now this is the housing part, and I'm done with this part. Now I don't need this portion in my main string anymore. So what I can do is I can remove this portion from my main string so that I can work on next portion. So this can be done using I know that I can use the right function to extract from the right of this string, and I need to specify the number of characters that I want to extract from right of this string. So in total, the length of string, this main string was, length of main string was 353, and so far the first record has taken 57 characters. Now if we need to remove this portion from main string, that means we need 353 minus 57 characters from right side. Okay, so that means we are going to talk about right of this main text and then subtract the entire length or subtract this length from the total length. So this will give you the data for rest of the categories. Okay, here we have used E3 minus F3. Instead we can put length of this main string minus length of extracted string. Now if we drag this formula, because this is independent on E and F, we do not need these columns anymore. We have the string for remaining portion. Now we can put paste special over here, paste its values. Now we have information for food only. The same formula that we have written using extraction up to hash is working, and it is extracting food information over here. And we have the data which is remaining, okay, because the third category is for car, and up to education we have that portion here in this column. Fine. So after extracting this food, we can copy and we can paste over here. We can paste it as values, and you can use text to columns, then next, and tab. We don't need tab, we just need a comma separator. Finish. Okay, replace food with nothing. So this information is for food. Similarly, the third information would be for car, and that is again, that can be done using copy and by putting it over here as a master string. Now we have data for car over here. We can put that value, those values over here as value, and then we use text to columns, next, separated by comma, and then remove car like this. So on and so forth, we can extract data for all the categories in the same way, and we can extract, we can then copy and paste first record of every category over here, and then we can have this report, and after this we can use some formula to some function to calculate the sum of each category for this particular year, and then we drag this formula. I'll generate it for you. So copy, paste. This is housing for first record. This is food for first record. Similarly, we get this for car for first record, so on and so forth. And then we can use insert table, set format, and then total equals sum of these values to get the sum. Oh, my mistake. We should add a header over here. Cut, paste, category, and then Jan, so up to December, and then insert table. First of all, we need to remove this table, convert this to range again, and then select this entire region again, and then insert a table. And this is the formatting, the layout, whatever we can select. We can remove the normal formatting that was done by no fill. Okay, and we can also hide the grid lines. Okay, so something similar you are having over here. Again, you can remove the formatting color and unmove. Fine. So this is how you extract meaningful information from chunk data, and then further, after getting this information, you can use this total equals sum of these equals sum of these values. Okay, these are not it is treating these as text, so what we need to do is we need to convert these to numbers. Initially actually I selected these as text, so this has converted these to numbers. So we have totals, and to draw the graphs, you can select these two columns and then go to insert and then column chart, and you can follow any design. You can also insert a pie chart to represent the information in this, and you can add data labels if you want to show only the label names. So you can go to format data labels, and you don't want to see the value, you can go for show me only category name and percentage of it. So this way you can generate a report like this. Okay, so that is pretty much about data extraction, data manipulation, and data cleaning using formulas.
In the second example, we are using VBA to read from files. So I have created 4 different files. In the first file I have kept one record only, just for sake of explaining the concept. And then you can see that in second file again we have one record which is different. Closing these, and then in third file again we have one record, and in fourth file we have 3 records. Now I want to consolidate all the data in one workbook. So for that I need to write some VBA code, and I can use a sub procedure. I can create a sub procedure to combine the data or to collate the data. So you can call this method as extract. Just put any name you want to give here, and then you need to first of all define that okay, you are working on active workbook, which is AWB. I'm calling this name for, I'm using this name for active workbook is equal to active workbook. Okay, and because we are having 4 different files, again this logic depends on the pattern that these files are following. We can see here these files have file initially and then a counter added to it. So I can write down code in this way. This is not a good way for handling this case. These names should be dynamic, or we can put it from a list, but for sake of explaining the concept I am using these variables as it is. That file name is starting from 1 to 4, and I'll be generating the file name on the fly. What I need to do is, because my counter is running from 1 to 4, so I need to open that workbook during execution. So I'll be using workbooks.open function, and I need to specify the complete file path. So I copy this path and I put it over here. After this, ampersand, and then file, and then ampersand, and then counter I, and then ampersand. Its extension Excel is X. This will open that workbook, and then I need to copy the entire used range in that sheet. So what I can do is workbook dot sheets. From its first sheet, I want to work on used range, and what I want to do is I want to copy this used range. Used range is nothing but whatever you have used for putting your data. So you have your used range like this, and then what you can do is you can copy this, and then you can paste this in a new row in your active workbook. So the next step is to paste it in active workbook. Now active workbook is AWB. So AWB dot sheets, you need to specify the sheet where you want to paste the data. So let's say you want to paste it in sheet 1 only. Then you need to specify on which cell you want to paste your data. So sheet 1 is okay, but cell number is dynamic, because once we copy data from file 1, it will be placed in first row. Then we need to copy data from file 2. We need to place that in row number 2. And in file 4 we have 3 records, that is dynamic, so we need to calculate that row number on the fly. The first index on the cells function is row number and then column number. That means we need to dynamically calculate this row number, but column number we are very sure that it is first column. Excel will automatically paste in starting from that column up to the number of columns which it has copied. So row number is playing crucial role here. We need to calculate it. So calculation of row number is very easy. So it is nothing but a blank row which is available in active workbook. That means active workbook dot in sheet 1. What we are doing is we are going to talk about cells, last cell of this row, rows.count, first column, last cell which is in the last row, and then use Excel up dot end, and then Excel up dot row. So I'll go to my workbook again to show you what I'm doing here. What I'm doing here is in active workbook, first of all I'm going to last cell, which is rows.count. It will give me 104856 and column number is 1, so it will go here in this cell, right? And then I'm saying that move to end in up direction like this. So wherever you find a blank cell, just stop there. So for example, if I have few values over here and I go to last cell and then I come back, it comes to this row, but I need to write in the next row. That means I need to add 1 to this. Okay, and then after this you need to paste that text which is copied in clipboard. Okay, so after this paste action is complete, you can close your workbook object because it is of no use, and you can set WB as nothing. So this will repeat nothing. So after this first iteration, the code will repeat and the value of I will be 2. Then it will create a new object for this workbook with file number file2, right? And then it will close it, declare it nothing, and then for file 3 and file 4. So if we run this code, I am cleaning this. Okay, so now if I run it, we'll see something wrong. Cells, active workbook, sheet, rows.count, Excel workbook. We must be doing something wrong with the syntax. Okay, it's sheets 1, not sheet 1. That's okay. Right. So we have data which is fetched from different worksheets. That's all for this session. Now I'll be waiting for your queries on my email ID excel.microk@gmail.com, or you can call me directly on my phone number which is 9650-740-760. I repeat, 9650-740-760. And you can also contact me on Skype. My Skype ID is Extreme Excel. See you guys again. Goodbye and have fun.